The third and final race here at Knockhill. Is it going to be a hat trick for the Hannafin Kawasaki team of Ben Holland and Lee Watson? 2 wins, they are looking invincible, but it's not going to be that easy because Chris Walker and Ashley Hawes, unbelievably, who would have thought that Chris Walker would be third in the championship coming into this Knockhill round? Incredible. This race then could be maybe even a victory for Chris and Ashley Hawes. But the reigning champions, Ricky Stevens, passengered with Charlie Richardson, have got a bit of work to do. They've had 2 less than average races. They could take the victory in this one. They're certainly looking for it. Further down the order, all sorts of names going well. Gary Horsepole, Rob Biggs, all these guys are flying. The conditions could not be better. Let's get it on. Of course, Walker, third in the championship, coming into this race. There, the injured Ryan Charlwood spectating with his right arm in a sling. He'll be back, though, for Snetterton. Our television partner for this, Bromley Haulage. Brilliant, brilliant sunshine here at Knockhill. A somewhat depleted grid, but round here it doesn't matter because it's so tight, so fast. Lap times under a minute, well under a minute, in fact. This time, though, Stevens and Charlie Richardson not making any mistakes. They know what they've got to do. They've got to keep their Portsmouth buddies, and all these lads come from the south coast, Holland. Watson comes from Essex, but you know what I mean. Southerners. Certainly up here at Knockhill, it's a long, long drive, I can tell you. Chris Walker in third, but ahead of him he's watching 2 master craftsmen do their stuff. These boys really, really fly. They're the best of friends. There were no hard recriminations after the coming together in the first race. Ricky Stevens said, look, it's a racing incident. Ben deserves a break. He's going so very well, and going very well. Ben Holland and Lee Watson are. Just look at them, up to the hairpin. They already have 5 lengths. Dean Nichols, Ben Avison coming through on their F2 and spinning out of contention. Fortunately, nobody around them. They get it back going and they're off again. Good lads, these guys, really going well. Holland Watson then, Stevens Richardson, let's have a look. Just see these guys, let's see what happens. Yeah, just too much rear brake, spins it round, it stops very, very quickly. There's Mike Hoskinson on a 750 Suzuki Windler. At the front there, Stevens and Richardson. Charlie Richardson stepping in at the last minute, courtesy of L&W's Dave Walton, the team principal, who loaned, in fairness, Charlie Richardson to Ricky Stevens. Arch rivals they are on the track, but such is the camaraderie of Sidecar Racing. That's the sort of thing they do. They're in second place at the moment, though. They're looking at the back end of Havant's Ben Holland. And Lee Watson, if they can pull it off here and get the hat trick, that's 75 points they will scoop, and they're certainly looking good. They've had their brushes with bureaucracy in the early stages. They were suspended at Alton Park. Through goes Stevens and Richardson. Charlie Richardson having 3 cracking races here in the absence of his driver Andy Peach, who does have a short-term illness. We wish you well, Andy, and get back soon. We need you on track. Richardson was thrown from side to side there. Such is the rapid change of direction here. Number 44, Gary Bryan and Jamie Wynn, back from 7th and 8th places in the Isle of Man TT. Gary Horsepole, 32, and Jimmy Connell ahead of Rupert Archer, number 70, and Steve Thomas, the Hannafin black helmeted pair. And looking up the inside, Rupert Archer, is there a way through? Gary Horsepole, is there a way through? Gary Bryan has taken the wide line, but he cuts back in. There's collision there. Horsepole's second spin of the day. Not a happy bunny, I can tell you. Gary Horsepole, you could forgive him for thinking he had the line. There was a line. There was a hole big enough to drive an Arctic through, and then Gary Bryan taking a late apex, clipped across the nose. And again, Gary Horsepole, by his own admission, said the red mist came down a little bit earlier in the day, but they are very, very fast indeed. Look at this then, the battle for the lead. Ricky Stevens and Charlie Richardson not getting away as you might expect. They won the 2015 championship with 12 victories. Is this going to be another victory for them here at Knockhill in the sunshine on a completely dry track? Everybody on slicks, you wouldn't expect anything else. Behind this racing duo, Chris Walker and Ashley Hawes again consolidating a podium. Well, this will be respectable, I can tell you. Gary Bryan and Jamie Wynn ahead of Rupert Archer. Then the number 58, Kirk and Hughes, Matt McLaurin and A.D. Hope on the blue machinery. Yamaha, number 25. Rupert Archer is a new, slim, trim, lightweight, super fit Rupert Archer for 2016, and it shows in his racing. Peter Hannafin, the contractor who has put so much money into these two outfits, just relishing. Oh, it's a spin! I heard the tyre squeak. Stevens, that's an uncharacteristic mistake. Stevens and Charlie Richardson have to rejoin. There goes Walker. Walker chunters around the outside. Up to second place, Chris Walker and Ashley Hawes. This is unbelievable. Are you okay, said Ricky Stevens. Let's see what happened. Maybe the brake bias not quite right. Oh, too hot. Rear brake locked up. Round it went. That's all it takes. These outfits have no steering lock at all. No corrective lock. So once you get past about a 15-degree turn, you are stuck with it, brother. You can't correct it. Holland Watson out in front then. Walker Hawes, then Stevens. Gary Bryan now, the number 44, 17 seconds adrift. Up to fourth place with Jamie Wynn doing the honours for him in the chair. Look at the gap now. Where's Walker? Right back down the running order. This is something like 9 seconds, the lead that Ben Holland and Lee Watson have. Number 7, Mike Hoskinson and Scott Hardy, who arrived overnight, somewhat confused everybody by entering on one bike and then actually competing on another. So some confusion, but I can tell you it's a Suzuki engine. Look at the gaggle chasing on behind. Gary Bryan then ahead of Rupert Archer, Martin Kirk, Matt McLaurin. Out goes Dean Nichols and Ben Avison, so they will not score points. The F2 leader again in race 3 at the moment, Gordon Shand and Phil Hyde, so they're going to get a maximum as well here. So that's great stuff. This is one of the best rides I've seen from Gary Bryan on the ex-Roger Body Santander Salt Kawasaki LCR. A good Isle of Man TT, as I said, for him, and he's now putting that to good use here on the short circuit at Knockhill. Martin Kirk and Ben Skippy Hughes, this pairing goes so well on a very modest budget. Great family team, great family spirit in the awning in the Kirk and Hughes camp. Is Rupert Archer going to get the better? Just as I said that, he drifted wide. I was going to say, is number 70, Rupert Archer, going to get the better of Gary Bryan? He's certainly pulling out all the stops, as indeed is Matt McLaurin, number 25, on the blue machinery bike, coming up the inside of Martin Kirk and making it stick. Through goes McLaurin. A.D. Hope then, these are former BEMC champions in their second season in the big league and doing very well indeed. They've got the blue machinery money that was formerly with Ben Bygrave in 2015, so that's helped towards their tyre costs, their running costs. Rupert Archer then getting very determined, and Gary Bryan throwing it sideways. Could be that the back tyre's going off just a little bit then, but he certainly threw it in sideways. Ricky Stevens and Charlie Richardson and McLaurin coming underneath Rupert Archer at the hairpin. Archer left it wide. Can he cut back? And Martin Kirk, another spin. Round and round they go again, a double spin. And they're on the grass there. That's going nowhere, son. That is going nowhere. It's belly pan firmly on the deep stuff. Ricky Stevens, Charlie Richardson making up then for their misdemeanor earlier in the race, but Gary Bryan has stayed very much in touch. They're lapping now. Look at this battle between Rupert Archer and Matt McLaurin. They've got Mike Hoskinson ahead of, oh dear, the marshals have lent a hand to the public. Look at the rear wheel spinning. It's in the gravel. They've got to manhandle it. This is a terrific scrap between Archer and McLaurin. This is where Kirk went out, a replay of the spin, and he just headed down for the grass, tried to get it right and then get back on the tarmac, but there's a very steep incline there. Race leaders on the final lap, Ben Holland and Lee Watson, immaculately on their way to 75 points and the treble here at Knockhill. And I don't know, I reckon this is going to put them in the top 3 of the championship. I haven't done the sums, but all will be revealed at the end of this race. Whatever, it's going to be a terrific result. Likewise, Chris Walker and Ashley Hawes will benefit handsomely from the absence of Tim Reeves and maybe John Holden too, and of course Andy Peach. sadly, who's not competing here at Knockhill. Walker will leapfrog up the table, certainly. There's Gordon Shand with Phil Hyde, leading F2 competitor as Holland takes the flag. 1 lap adrift, Shand comes over to lift the cup prize. Second place again, Chris Walker and Ashley Hawes. The jubilant Ashley Hawes bouncing up and down. Don't do that, boy, you'll break the chain. Martin Kirk did finish. He and Ben Hughes go over the line a lap adrift. And third place it is for Stevens and Richardson after a fight back from the spin. Victorious then, 15 laps completed, 13.21 the time. Ben Holland and Lee Watson. What a day at the office for them. Fantastic. Can it get better? Well, it can't get any better than that, of course, but they march on from here to Snetterton, where they do go very well indeed. Their championship challenge very much back on track with a victory. Walker and Hawes, third time in the runner-up spot ahead of Stevens and Richardson there, collecting the final step on the podium. Brian Archer, McLaren Horsepole, what a scrap that was. We saw it all the way through. And Biggs, yet again, more solid points. Another DNF for Kevin Cable.